Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. There's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
Hey everybody, it's Tuesday night, time for another live Wicked Horror Show. I'm Kevin, and as always, I'm joined by Tony Has Nine Fingers.
What is going on, people?
And Tony, would you like to introduce our very special guests?
Sure. From the upcoming movie The Slab, we director Mike Farley.
Mike Farley, there he is.
Sorry,
yeah.
I apologize.
Just think of Chris Farley.
Yeah, Mike Farley. And we also have Emily Annabelle. And while we were doing the intro of both Mike and Emily, we have to welcome back Sadie Katz. What's going on, Sadie?
Hey, what's up? I was like, am I on? Am I on?
Yep, you're on.
Great.
It's been a long time. I don't even remember.
I'm excited to be back. Thank you. With my friends this time too.
Yeah. So the Slab looks pretty great. I grabbed the trailer yesterday, and I was like, oh, all right, this is one that's going to be on my radar. So Mike, you were writer and director of this, right?
Yeah, so that POC that we did back in April for the trailer, that was wrote by Robbie Diaz, but I directed that, and then but the Slab itself is what I wrote all from me.
Nice. And do you want to just go off a little bit about what it's about? Obviously, don't give too much away. And I know you guys have an Indiegogo going on right now as well.
Yes.
So we definitely want to talk about that. Give us a little synopsis about the Slab.
Yeah, so the Slab is an actual place that was in Western Kentucky. There was a myth that if you parked your car on this concrete slab, there was like a demonic creature that would come and then knock on your car door. So like we used to go down and do this all the time, and I used to tell people the story and everything, and it got to the point where there was so much other things that happened without giving the story away. I would tell people the story, and then they would be like, man, this sounds like it could be a movie. And the more that I kept hearing that, I was like, maybe I ought to write this into a movie if everybody thinks it is one. And so one night I just started writing, and then shared it with Drew Fortier, and then he fell in love with it, and then he was like, I've got to introduce you to some people, and we need to get this thing made. So then after that, it was nothing but networking, and here we are.
Nice.
Awesome. Because we have something in Jersey. It's called Weird New Jersey. So pretty much it's like a magazine with all these like different like tales and stuff. So it kind of sounds like a Weird Kentucky or something. But
there's actually that's like a chain of there's Weird Massachusetts. There's weird, like every state has some kind of iconic, like legendary stories. Whether or not they're good is another story, but that definitely sounds interesting. So is that through that networking is how you were able to meet Sadie and Emily?
Yes. Yeah. Nice. Yeah. And then, Matt Lill, was able to get connected with him. He's helped me out a lot. And then he's the one that introduced me to Daniel Kearney. And it's just networking is an amazing, amazing tool.
Especially in indie film, it's kind of like, especially in indie film when you work with people and then you realize that this is your crew type deal, and then it makes it that much easier. How many times have we had people on and it's like, everybody meshes because I don't know how long it took you guys to film it, but that's one less thing you have to worry about, is if you can connect and uh, have a smooth transition, I guess.
Yeah. And I know Emily and Sadie can vouch for this. Like the team that we had that day was amazing, and a lot of them have previously worked on set before, so then that was a huge plus.
Yeah. So
Can I chime in there?
oh yeah, please do.
Yeah, what's really fun, and I'm always like, super stoked to work with people or to also come back on podcasts, guys. But to work with people that, like, you show up to set and you've worked with this person, that person, everyone, these shoots go really fast, and the quicker you can feel like a family, the better everyone works. And I didn't even know Emily was going to be there, so I was like, Emily's a good friend of mine, and I was like, oh my God, this is going to be so much fun. It ends up, a good set is like a really good wedding, right?
Oh, it's the best. It's such a gift. No, when I saw Sadie in that call sheet, I freaked out because, first of all, I will say this for the rest of my life. I just think Sadie is like, she's just a dream in every way to work with. And I just knew I was signing up for a day of fun, being able to work off of each other, learning from each other. And the whole team was just amazing. And it was a phenomenal crew. It was just, it's a really special team involved. I'm really grateful to be a part of it.
Nice.
Yeah.
And it's the indie world gets smaller and smaller, because like I've known Daniel for a long time. Before he was involved in any movies at all, we were both just fans at a horror convention, and like he would stop and talk to me and my cousin Leo about our podcast, and that's how we got to know Daniel. And then all of a sudden, we produce a movie, and we're like, what? And like now he's all over the place. It's crazy, and it's I don't know. It's awesome. I love seeing his progress and everyone's progress. Like Sadie, you've worked like for the most part nonstop. Like you're always in cool things. And now I mean I do have to admit I don't know much about Emily, but I would like more. And obviously Mike, I like to see progress. And what I saw from the trailer, it already looks awesome. So I'm curious to see the final product, and I'm curious to see where you guys all go next. But yeah. So what was the from beginning to filming? Like, how long was the process for you, Mike? Like when you finally came up with like, maybe I'll turn this into a script. How long did it actually get off the ground?
It took roughly about a year for me to write that first draft, and it didn't take very long because, like I said, the whole thing is based upon actual events. So that was like really easy. So pretty much 90% of this film is all true, and then I just had to come up with a really twisted ending, and I think we're going to hit it out of the park with this ending. I've spoke with Emily about it, what my idea was, and yeah, like I said, I want to tell everybody, what happens, but yeah, it's going to be the biggest secret that I can keep.
Nice.
But it's definitely like it's bringing back that old school demonic possession exorcism. There's a lot of slashers out right now. Everybody's about blood, 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 and I just want to bring back that old school jump scare and horror. And then because that's one of the big things that I like about horror is just all those jump scares.
Yeah. No, there's all these subgenres, and there's a place for all of them.
Yeah.
And I agree. There's people are a little obsessed with the gore, but if it's done well, I'm on board for it. But there's some times where I'm just like, all right, you guys bit off more than you could chew, and so it's I respect a good like thinker, and something that'll gets tense, and the payoff is a jump scare or something.
And that's if it's done right too, because sometimes it's like they lead up to the jump scare, I guess you would call it, where it's like here comes the scary sound, you know something's coming. But then there's other ones where they do it the exact opposite, where it's like here's the scary sound, nothing happens, and then they hit you with it. So it all depends on, I've seen it both ways where it's like, okay, I saw it coming, but there's other ones where it catches you way off guard and you're like, okay.
Yeah. And just real quick, Life is Pain and Sergio are both in the chat. Life is Pain is from over in UK. And Sergio's already asking if we have a trailer. We do have a trailer. We're going to play it in probably like the next 15 minutes or so. But yeah, and Life is Pain is saying that he loves folk tales. So the fact that this is like a folk tale from Kentucky, and I'm curious, did you mess with people at all when you went and did this? Like, did you set up people to knock on the car doors or anything like that? Or is it just...
No. Whenever I did it, I was one of the ones that wanted to debunk everything. So whenever we were in the car, like I made everybody put their hands on the dash, just so I could make sure that nobody was,
Okay.
knocking on the doors and stuff. And yeah, there was a lot of car rides down there that a lot of people were just like, Mike, you got to go. This is too much. And then, and then like I said, with the whole demonic stuff, I kind of look at this as also like one of those faith-based horrors, because like I said, whenever this actual story happened, that's kind of where I was at. I was like, I don't know what's real, what to believe in. And then, it just kind of went from there. And right. Yeah, like I said, I don't want to give too much away, but, a lot of demonic and ghostly entities as filled throughout this film.
Nice. And Emily and Sadie, do you want to talk a little bit about your characters? Like, who do you play in the movie? Let's start with Emily.
Yeah, so I play the character Sarah, and it's really interesting because when I first read this script, when Mike sent it to me, he just sent it, hey, I wrote a script, will you read it? Read it, loved it. I was like, I really relate to this girl, Sarah. It feels very, it's crazy to say, it felt nostalgic to me almost because, I grew up in Texas and love where I'm from. There wasn't much to do outside of the creativity in my own head. And it's funny, when I was a kid, when I tell you, I swear, I feel like I was born being terrified of demons. I just had this, it would haunt me at night. I would look around my room being like, a demon's going to get me. I have no idea why. Maybe it's just like, you grew up in Texas and this religious upbringing and there's something sort of tempting about being like, oh, that's so interesting over there. I'm like, I like being scared of that. It always excited me. And I feel like in my character, she really is just so... has that kind of excitement and that curiosity. And I also think, just being in this sort of town where life feels very mundane, she's craving that sort of temptation and that edge and that jolt in her life. And I totally could relate to that. I wanted to get away from those dirt roads so bad. But I really relate. I feel like she's really just adventurous and just looking for something bigger than herself, really.
So you didn't have to delve too deep into you kind of had that in your head where you're just like, okay, I can hit this pretty easily.
Yeah, because even in my life, I feel like I've always been that. Like I wasn't a scaredy cat. I was brave, but yet I was so fascinated by terror. I sound crazy, but I mean, I think that that's also part of the human condition. I think we all, in a weird way, get fascinated by that sort of other fantasy life. And yeah, it's pretty easy to dive into that.
I think I don't think you're alone in that. I think I can probably say the same thing. Like, I grew up going to church. Like, I wasn't like super duper religious, but I grew up going to church. I was part of the choir and all this other stuff. But I also grew up like falling in love with horror movies, and I love to be scared. And and as a kid, like I was born in the mid 70s, so like when I was a kid, there wasn't a lot that, you know, you didn't have a billion channels. So it's like if I'm sneaking to watch TV, it's probably going to be something I shouldn't be watching. And it's, you know, that would terrify me as a kid. And then, you know, then the TV's off and then I'm just in the dark and it's just, all right, I'm imagining things now. This is crazy, you know? And then, I don't know, even Mike, you brought up like, you know, makes you question a lot. And it did, you know, it makes me question a lot. Like, all right, if I don't believe in this, then why do I believe that there's this?
Yeah.
In order for that to exist, then there has to be this. Like that, this has to make sense. And so yeah, I don't know. It's I think we're all in the same boat when it comes to that. Like that's what makes us horror fans. And you know, I don't know. I'm sure we all probably have like similar kind of experiences. But yeah, I don't know. That's which is I think is a good thing. It's a good
It is
thing.
a good thing. It's funny, when I was in high school, so growing up, also my dad was a pastor.
Oh geez.
And I actually, believe it or not, had a pretty good experience in that world. Like I really respected my dad. I really did love my church. But I also think when you have a belief, you also have to sort of acknowledge the other half of that belief system. And so when I was in high school, I remember being in class one day, I was in Spanish class, and a bunch of kids were huddled around my desk asking if demons were real. Because, you know, I was just the pastor of high school, I guess. And I was like, of course demons are real. And they're like, well, where are they? And I would started talking about demons. Then I got sent to the principal's office for being a demon whisperer. And I was like, I think this is getting out of hand. I'm not saying I communicate with them. It just turned into this whole thing and I got in so much trouble.
Well, they asked for it, so.
Yeah, exactly. You answered the question. So Sadie, you want to talk a little bit about your character and, you know, just maybe some inspiration, like if you had any inspiration for the character or, you know.
Sure. I'm getting a lot of white feedback. Are you guys hearing that?
Yeah, I'm hearing a little bit of it. I'm not sure where it's coming from.
It's kind of coming off and on. I don't know. Just seeing if it was on my end. Okay. Well, you know what's funny is, again, I'm a child of the 80s as well. We've talked about this before.
Yeah.
And we were all like, you know, I feel like horror was, I'm really going to age myself, but it's like that's when you first started going to video stores, and those are the boxes you would get lost in. And like, you know, I think a lot of us of a certain age can actually see the box covers that scared the shit out of us. And, you know, I even ones like the April Fool's box cover that
with the noose.
Yeah, it was like, so that collective experience. And I also, Emily and I have talked about this a lot, that I grew up very religious too. And it's weird because I was a Jehovah's Witness and we really believed in demons, like 100%. And it was funny because like we would do like the yard sale, where we would go to a yard sale, and if you had something like a demon attached to it, you would have to say like God's name, Jehovah, 3 times, and like Jehovah, 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 to make the demon flee from it. Which to me now, as an adult, I'm like, that's insane. That I was like, why would you even buy anything at a yard sale? Like, if it's that much of a risk, like I'm with adults who are getting like a 25-cent, you know, like, oh, I got this sweater for $2. I'm going to risk bringing home a demon. But it is funny because, I mean, it's like makes no sense. But I think there's a particular audience that I really like that. I mean, Mike went for the younger audience as always, but really, I play a wife, and that's with her husband, and they're having this, you know, this demonic entity that they're dealing with in the house. And I feel like that's like a really classic ghost story of sorts. Like, you know, it's because it's almost like a metaphor for problems in marriage. A certain somebody that comes along, Miss Emily, you know, it's like there's all these other, it's not just a story about that's scary. but it's also got some other meaning behind it. And I think there's something crazy about the idea of possession, hauntings, in demons in particular, that is like it's a different fear, and it's kind of, everybody has their own version of like that scares them to their soul.
Well, especially some movies like that. I mean, like, take it for like the gore stuff where people are getting like dismembered and stuff. It happens in life, but you don't see it often. But I think everybody at one point in time, if you're in a dark room and it's like quiet or something, there's always that question: is something there, or something like you have that feeling around you? So I think, especially like those kind of horror movies where it could possibly happen, scare me more than if it was like blood, guts, and gore 95% of the time, because it's like, okay, well, this, I've dealt with this before, I've seen this before, or like home invasions or something like that. That scares me more than if it would be like a chainsaw like a Friday the 13th or something like that. So,
Yeah.
That's for me.
I'm in the same boat. But I also for years was like super into the paranormal and stuff like that. And, I would go and spend nights at these places that were legendarily haunted and, expecting or waiting for things to happen and stuff like that. So like that stuff creeps me out as well, but that, like, I don't know. Everyone's got their own thing, right?
Well, did you find anything?
I had some stuff happen. Me and my wife would plan our vacations around, like locations. Like we would like go to like a museum that we would be able to stay in overnight and like, stuff like that. But yeah, we had some stuff, like nothing like groundbreaking in any way, but some stuff that was like, I have no explanation for that. But nothing too crazy. Like that, the craziest thing was with dowsing rods. Like we had never used dowsing rods before. Like you use them to find water in the ground. And like we were at this museum in Buffalo, New York, and the guy there was a guy there that was like the groundskeeper or whatever, and he's like, "Oh, you guys ever use dowsing rods?" We're like, "No." He's just like, "Oh, you guys been using each other's names all night, right?" And we're like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Okay." So he's like, "Who wants to hold the dowsing rods?" And like my friend Mark held them, and he's like, "All right, close your eyes." He's like, "Ask it to start pointing out people in the room." And like, so we all kind of scattered. It was just like, there was only like 4 of us anyways. And like, he's like, "All right." And he's like, "Point out Kristen." And like it spun and pointed at my wife. I was like, "No, ask her to point." Like it point out Jeff, and it spun and pointed at Jeff and pointed at me. But my friend Mark had his eyes closed, and he's just holding these dowsing rods. And like the one thing that I thought was awesome is like it was supposed to be the ghost of a kid, and he's just like, "All right, thanks, buddy." He's like, "Ask him for a hug." He's like, "All right, can I have a hug?" And the dowsing rods crossed and touched both of his shoulders.
Oh my god!
Yeah. Just like my friend Mark is like, he's not the kind of guy that would mess with you either. He wasn't making it happen himself. He was amazed that happened, but that was the only thing that we. That, and we had a few like shadows and stuff that we got, and things like that, but nothing concrete. Some stuff that if you show someone who's like a strict like paranormal like fiend, they're gonna try to find a reason to explain it away. But we had the experience. That's all that matters to me. So,
but not only you, but some of the bigger ones is like the Annabelle series with the Warrens, where there's a whole series. Now, if you believe it or not, is what it is. But I mean, they
current topics. But did you hear about the guy who's actually in charge? Who was in charge of since the Warrens
Annabelle or whatever?
Yeah,
and then the doll disappeared.
No, he took it on tour, and like a guy that was like not in bad health or anything, and he dropped dead. Like right after.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah.
And then now the comedian has it now, that Matt Reiff.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, he bought it.
Yeah.
For like $9 million or something. He owned the property and the doll. Like,
oh wow, that's crazy. That must be fairly new. I haven't heard about that. Huh.
Yeah, he said he's a huge horror fan, which I had no idea.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. It makes me think
Yeah.
differently about Matt Reiff. But anyways, I do want to play the trailer, and then we can talk about the Indiegogo some more, because I know Sergio wants to see the trailer. So let me see. All right. Here we go. All right, so 1 minute, 12 seconds, and we'll be right back, and then we'll talk about this Indiegogo, where you can go support the project. And for our listeners, because the audio for this is going to go up on Thursday. So when does the Indiegogo end? Like, when is it going?
Mid-September.
All right, perfect. So you got plenty of time, but don't wait. You want to get some of the cool perks, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, before they're all gone. But here's the trailer for the Slab, and we'll be right back.
She was wandering around Key Bridge, total amnesia and no ID.
Hey, I heard earlier that one of his patients died on the operating table.
You might notice we're rather busy tonight. How about you attend to the young lady in ORA?
Do you remember anything that happened? Great. Okay. I'll be right back.
Dr. Owens!
There we go. Is the trailer for the Slab, and so the Indiegogo, you said, goes to the middle of next month. What are some of the perks that people can get? Like, is the movie like completely filmed, or is it still like?
No, we'll be filming this November.
Okay. And then some of it, like I mean, I haven't gone to the Indiegogo page because I'm a horrible host. I apologize. But as far as like, are some of the perks like is there like extra work and stuff like that in there, or?
Yeah, you can. There's some walk-on roles. You can even have like your name on a tombstone, because there's a lot of cemetery scenes, and we're gonna have it set up to where you can have your name on one of the headstones. Or you can have like your picture in the film. You can have your voice in the film, and we'll make it demonic. Then you can also get signed posters, signed Blu-ray, a special thanks in the film. And then we also have some interns courses that Matt Lill will be teaching cinematography. It's like a week-long like class of that, where you can be on set, and then you'll be able to film an actual like scene for the last part of it. It'll be supervised by him, of course, but and then there's some also other packages where you get to watch some of the cast on set and then have lunch with them. So yeah, we've got a lot of different things, signed props from the movie, wardrobe that'll be from the cast and stuff that we'll send out.
That's awesome. I don't know if I've ever heard of like the on set like learning.
Yeah, because why not treat, especially if you like want to start, it's like that's perfect. That's like right in what you're going to be doing anyway. So that's like a perfect
that's pretty great
perk. So, but that's the one thing too, for if you couldn't tell, Blu-rays, physical media for me is always that number one thing I always look for. And I think whenever people get that chance to be a part of it, it's, even though how many times have we heard that like an Indiegogo is like another job kind of deal, where it's kind of you got to keep on track of it like all the time, and then sometimes you hear horror stories and great stories from it, but you know, just some of the perks that you were to listen off. I think a lot of our watchers and listeners, or just horror fans in general, will probably be very interested in.
Yeah, the first thing I
Yeah.
thought was Angel when because one of our third mic guys who comes on from time to time, he's an aspiring director, cinematographer, and I'm like, oh, that would be sick if he was able to do that. So I'll be like, I'm actually going to a screening with him tomorrow night, so I'm going to be like, you should go check out the Indiegogo for the Slab.
Yeah. And then there's a couple masks that we use as far as the props. And the sculptor of those masks is the same sculptor that did Slipknot's mask on the All Hope Is Gone.
Oh, wow.
And so that was huge.
That's awesome. How did you hook up with that?
Yeah, just reached out to him. He had it, and then in the process of talking with him, he ended up selling it to Trick or Treat Studios. So then in the middle of all this, I had to reach out to them, and then I was like, I have a mask that was by this sculptor. Now you guys have the rights to it. Is it okay if I use it in my film? And I was like, here it is. This is where they say absolutely not. They emailed me back within a day, and then they were like, yeah, there was like, we would be, so happy that, for this to happen. It was like, all we ask is that you just drop her name in the credits. And then, so I was, really excited about that.
That's awesome. I didn't realize, but there is Trick or Treat Studios has offices in my area, and, I've heard nothing but good things about them. Like,
yeah, they were super nice.
Yeah, like a friend of mine owns a small like horror collectibles shop, and like they hook him up with like stuff I've never seen. And I'm like, oh my god, this is sick. I'm like, how did you do? He has to pay for it. Don't get me wrong, but he gets deals. He gets deals, and I'm like, this is stuff. I'm like, I've never seen this on the shelf, like anywhere. And he's like, yeah, I got it. I'm like, that's sick. I'm like, how much is it? And I'm like, it's gonna stay on that shelf. My wife will leave me if I buy more. But anyways, enough about that.
I normally freak out a little bit with Indiegogo because I understand like there's so many things, and there's a real debate in like horror genre about like the pay to play and everything. But I feel like Mike did a really good job on this campaign because it's really about supporting the film, and I love the idea of the intern. But more than that, I'm really fun to have lunch with. I am the best luncher. Emily knows this. I promise, as long as we're not on set, I will rosé. I will. Kevin and Tony are not probably rosé drinkers.
No, but
surprise. Well, you know what? But I did think it was really it's really fun with Mike. I was like, I don't know if I want it, because what if no one wants to have lunch with me? But if you do, I will be the fun lunch companion, and I'll tell you all the gossip about shooting, because there's always a lot of gossip on set. Always.
Yeah. I don't know why anyone wouldn't want to have lunch with you guys.
I mean,
I'll buy the perk if I need to.
Yeah.
Sadie is the best to have lunch with.
Good to me.
So you two worked on a project before, or just like through the grapevine you know each other, or?
Oh gosh. How long? Emily and I used to be repped by the same demon, which is weird. Just kidding. No, and I feel like it's funny because we haven't worked together, but we're always crossing. So this is always, and I always recommend Emily anytime I can. I'm like, they're like, we need an actress who's this, and this, all the beautiful things, and intelligence, brains, beauty, the whole thing. What happened to Mike? Did I lose Mike?
No,
I'm here.
Yeah, your video's off for some reason.
Yeah, it's just a black screen.
But we can still hear you.
Oh, I can see myself on there still.
That's weird.
Uh-oh. the demon, the Slab, is taking over this whole
Well, that's
whole wicked horror show.
They had on Shudder. They had that. What is it? Cursed Films. The one like series that was like, okay, if you make movies dealing with this, sometime like they had one for like Poltergeist and one for, I think there was like 8 different movies where it's like, okay,
those were like people died and stuff. You don't want that.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, it's one of those things where
if your biggest curse is that you lose video on the Wicked Horror Show, then that's you're not going to make it on Shudder. I'm sorry.
Damn it!
You never know. We could get so big that it's like, you remember that one episode?
No, no one.
Wishful thinking.
Yeah, wishful thinking. But speaking of things like Shudder, what's the?
Can you guys still see me?
We can't see
We're
you.
gonna hear you.
But what is the plan as far as I know you're planning like a Blu-ray release, but are you gonna try to get on like some of the streaming services, or is it something you're gonna do VOD? Anyone? Mike, if you can hear me.
Uh-oh.
Maybe he can't hear us now.
Oh no.
That's okay. I'm gonna send him a message.
Is it still a black screen?
It is, yes. Can you hear us, Mike?
Oh no, it's a very handsome black screen.
Yes.
It's the best handsome black screen.
He laughed, so I guess he can hear us.
I think we're going to streamers, or I think some festivals may be
okay
where we're headed.
My only concern with the festival run is that sometimes those take so long.
Oh, I know.
And I just want to see the movie.
I know. I'm always just like, can we do one festival and like do the premiere there? Because you're right. Then it becomes like a year, and then everyone who wants to see it has already seen it.
Yeah. Or like they're just not people that aren't in areas where there's festivals or whatever.
Right.
But
yeah, how many times it's like, oh, I saw this movie at a festival. It's the greatest thing I've ever seen. Okay, when's it coming out? I have no idea. Okay, then it's just like lost in the ether.
What's the worst? Like, I mean, I don't know if you guys have dealt with this with shorts or anything, but like there's been some film festivals I've gone to.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the video. Why it's still black? Like I said, I can still see everything on the box here.
Weird.
Maybe if you
want to jump out, you want to jump out and jump back in. Maybe that'll solve it.
I can try that.
Okay. But there's been some like short film festivals that I've gone and seen some really awesome shorts, and it's just like, where are those gonna go? Like, they're not gonna get, they're a short, so it's not gonna get like a physical release or anything like that.
There's some times where like,
or it'll go on like a compilation or like something along those lines.
I've been in a couple that, I mean, they're really fun for the filmmaker. If you have a very successful short, because that's when you get a lot of networking and all that in. But for the actor in the short, you're like, okay, that's great. I love shorts, though. I'm a fan of like, I think there's something really cool. I used to go every year to the Oscar shorts, and I mean, what a ride! It's like you felt 100 different things. I love when they do shorts at horror festivals and they mix the genres, because I think that's really fun. Everybody has a little, body horror and you got thriller and, but I do love them. Although they do kind of just sit. I go, all right. Sometimes when people come to me and say they want to do a short, I'm like, why don't you just do the feature? It's so much work.
Unless it's like they're going to use it as a proof of concept, and then it'll eventually become a feature or something. But yeah, if it's just a short, it's like, unless you're doing like an anthology film or.
Well, they have like, there's a YouTube channel I know that has like strictly short films. I forget what it's called, Bloody Bits or something.
Oh,
where it's pretty much all just horror movie shorts. And then other plate. I mean, we had. Okay, your camera's back.
Hey,
Yes.
it's the win.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
That's okay.
I think it's all the demonic stuff going on in this house still.
Yeah, it could be. It's all that talk about Kentucky.
Yeah.
But then there's like a few shorts that I'm just like, oh, you got to make this like that Pizza Panic Party or like stuff like that, where I'm like, I want to see this. Like,
Yeah.
sometimes you get enough where it's like, okay, I got it. But then there's other ones where it's just like, I need more, like either a beginning or an end to like, you know.
Oh yeah, I need a beginning, middle, and an end. Like if you when people send me a short script, I always say the same thing. You have to have a twist ending in a short. That's like the audience. If you don't, you don't really understand that genre, because the ending has to have a button and be a surprise. So like, go back and write it. A short's harder to write, I think. I don't know, than a feature, because the writing's got to be super tight, and you've got to stand out because there's like 150 shorts in a film festival. So if you want people to love your short, it has to make a real impact. There's no time to there's no other things to hide behind.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, especially like slow burns for like a feature length, it's like it takes forever to like build a character or whatever. So sometimes it's like you're just thrown into it and it's like, oh, this character's great. Okay, it's done. And it's just like, okay, well, what else is there? Like, I want more. But then other times too, it's just like, okay, I got what I needed. Somehow they do it. They pull it off in like 7 minutes, where it's just like, oh, I got the whole.
That's
story.
the best.
Okay.
When you're like, oh my God, I can remember certain shorts that broke my heart where I was like crying hysterically. And I'm like, oh my God, 12 minutes. And I'm going to remember this forever. I loved all the shorts and tells for Halloween.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Oh,
yeah, that was put out by Dread Presents, I think.
Yeah.
I got the Blu-ray sitting on my shelf.
Blu-ray too.
Yeah, so many good ones. I still haven't seen, Mike Mendez is a friend of mine. I still haven't seen Hispanic or what is it? Hispanic
Panic?
Yeah.
Hispanic Panic?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that, but I heard it's great.
We had him on once, like a wicked long time ago for
Spider Lava Lantula. That's what it was.
No, he was awesome. Like he was a really good guest. But yeah, we only had him on the one time.
Did you hear what Kevin just said to us, Mike? He's like, he's a really good guest, unlike certain people.
Oh,
you know what? That's fine. That's fine.
It's like we had him on, and like it was just,
he's a real horror buff.
I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting a ton, and it was just like it was. I think he was in the car, and I think he was going to the premiere. I think it was something like that. So it was a different kind of episode, because he was just like, yeah, I'm going to the premiere of the movie. Like, I'm like, what? And it was weird. So it stood out because of that.
Yeah.
Like, every once in a while, like something weird will happen, and I'm just like, I'll never forget that episode ever. But I don't forget that Sadie's been on the show a bunch of times. I don't forget that.
Yeah.
See, I don't forget.
Next time I'll get a tattoo.
Okay. I
have to do something. I'm kind of like, what I love about doing these things is I look at the back of like their setup, and all I can see is like, back in the day, like Mike, your Slipknot poster. Like when I was religious, if someone had that, they'd be like, oh, they definitely mess with demons. Like, everybody's house looks a little like they mess with demons, except Emily and I. We're good girls, right?
Yeah. You guys definitely have like the most normal houses.
Well, we're like the girl. I got like a mirror ball, like the mom stuff.
I have a Liza Minnelli poster. I think we both have matching disco balls hanging.
Oh my God, I love you. Of course we do. We're goddamn basic bitches. I love it. How could you not have a disco ball?
Right?
Who do you have back there? Is that in the cartoon Futurama? Is that what I'm seeing?
Back here?
Yeah.
That's the Bride of Frankenstein.
It looks like the
It's just
guy from
it's a pop like pop art style. So it's like the colors are vibrant and whatever.
I like it.
I like old Universal monsters. I have a majestic Frankenstein sitting in a big leather chair next to her, but you can't see it because it's too dark. But
like full size.
Well, it's good size posters.
Nice.
Yeah. Thanks to Temu, right? It's actually printed on canvas and everything, and it was maybe like $11 or something.
Oh,
just had to wait a month and a half for it to get delivered to my house.
Did that actually look like it was supposed to?
Yeah.
With my killer clown from outer space, not killer clowns.
Sit me down. It was a gift.
I'm just saying.
Before we get into more Temu crap, I definitely want to give you guys an opportunity to promote where people can go follow what else you guys have going on. I know, Sadie, you get some other stuff coming out. Where can people go to find out more information about what you have coming out? Start with Sadie.
Okay, you're going to start with me. So always go on my Instagram. I feel like, Instagram, Sadie Katz, SADIE KATZ. And I do go on Facebook. I'm a little more personal on Facebook, but since it has a friend limit, I always feel like people think I don't love them because I don't always find them there. But I also, so I'll be posting some links to the Slab, which you can see the Indiegogo stuff. Do support that if you love indie film. I feel like this is such a big deal too because it's finally getting back in the creators' hands, in the fans' hands. So thank you for having me on again.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I hope everyone says hi to me.
And the thing is, like, from that little short, I don't know if it's going to be from the trailer. I mean, the synth music kind of has that like old school feel to it. So I don't know if it's going to have like that throwback feel. And just, we were talking about, you don't see it as often nowadays. It's the slasher type movie. So, I'd say I'm excited for it.
The Slab. Yeah. I just like it because I want to say the Slab all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a guy at work that always says that. He's always like, the Slab. And then every time he sees me, I'm like, yeah, man. I was like, get on there and get you a perk.
He's trying to convince you to give him a free one, is what he's doing.
Yeah.
But don't fall for it. Make him pay.
No. But I do need to add, whenever I was picking everybody for these characters, like it was, I don't know, it was like I was picking the Avengers. It's like I needed to pick and choose for one like who I was a big fan of, and then like I said, I was always a big fan of Sadie, and Emily. We connected on Instagram one time, and I seen that she was an actress, and I was like, hey, it was like she said earlier, I was like, I have a script if you want to check it out. And just the moment that I saw her, I was like, she fit the role that I wrote for her. And so she's been attached to us the whole time, and I couldn't thank everybody, the whole team, just for all the support, especially with me being first time feature. A lot of people don't really want to take the time to even look at anything that I got, just because this is going to be my first feature. So I just appreciate everybody giving me the opportunity to show what I have, because once you see it, then everybody's going to be coming back for more.
Nice.
But that's the thing. I think indie film, like maybe beforehand, where it's like, okay, it's an indie film, I don't know about this, a first-time filmmaker. But nowadays, you see these movies that it is a first-time filmmaker, and they look like they're a veteran or something, like, especially with some of these bigger titles. And now, with Terrifier and stuff like that, now it's actually getting shown in the theater. So I think a lot of people's eyes are opening wider to the fact that there is other stuff out there. So, maybe 10 years ago, people would have been like, okay, Mike, I didn't know his stuff beforehand, but now it's like, hey, listen, I think people are willing to take risks now because of the popularity and just the amount of stuff coming out in indie film, indie horror.
They're seeing the originality and stuff with the indie stuff. So
yeah, and the trailer alone, like I said, whenever I told people, I'm doing a horror indie, indie movie, whenever they finally saw the trailer, they were like, "Holy cow!" That was like I was expecting some like grainy, just god awful shot, and then it was like I thought I was watching something off of Netflix, and then so the editing team on that was truly amazing, and like I said, that's what you're gonna get with the Slab is it's gonna look like that.
Nice.
Yeah, between the coloring and the well, like I said, the music beforehand, but just the coloring and the light, the lighting and everything, it looks really good for sure.
Hospitals are creepy enough. Throw a red light in there, it's even creepier. But Emily, where can people go to find out what's going on with you and other projects and news on the Slab and stuff like that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, on Instagram, it's just my full name, Emily Annabelle. Same on Facebook. I'm pretty active on Instagram. At least I try to be about posting about what I'm working on. So say hi, DM me. I love meeting people and chatting about movies and also posting about other projects I'm working on. I actually was on set earlier today. I'm working on a sort of dark comedy murder mystery kind of project, which was actually so fun with some pretty awesome people attached to it. So I'm excited to be able to share more about that. And I have a couple other projects on the docket right now. So it's going to be an exciting year. So yeah, find me anywhere. Follow me.
Now, when you're looking for projects, do you lean more horror side or anything's open?
Anything's open because let's be honest, I just want to be being on set is my happy place, and I got to pay my bills. So it's a win-win for me. I definitely love the horror genre, but more than that, I really love, and I think it goes into it, I love fantasy. I will always geek over fantasy. I just think like anything in another world or just in my imagination, those are the characters that I really love. And I love characters that aren't, because I don't really read well as a damsel. I'm not like a damsel in distress. Like I like these sort of strong, gutsy kind of characters. It just kind of fits well with me. But yeah, I just like anything where it's a good script and more importantly, but just a great group of people. That's what matters most to me. Like a good crew involved. I'm a happy camper.
Nice.
Yeah.
Mike, where can people go to follow you? And it's definitely give the info for the Indiegogo out there again.
Yeah. So you'll be able to follow me on Instagram and Facebook. It's under AF9 Films. And then so we have the Facebook, we have the Instagram, and then I have my YouTube page for AF9. I tried my hand at TikTok. Don't know what I'm doing, so it's kind of stale on TikTok. But yeah, I'm really active on Instagram a lot. And then also have the Slab official movie pages attached to those as well. So like once you go to the AF9 pages, you'll be able to find the Slab official movie pages as well.
Nice. Now you said
and then, we have the Indiegogo shared on all of those platforms.
You said the Slab's your first feature. Have you done like shorts beforehand, or this is like your first like delve into anything?
Yeah, this is going to be the first thing. The POC that we did that we shot with Emily and Sadie early this year. That was the first time that I'd been like on set. So that was like just getting my feet wet. And but yeah, so this will be my first feature, and I'm glad that we have the trailer now for that to show everybody. Because like I said before, it's like I would tell everybody like, yeah, I'm a filmmaker. And they'd be like, oh, what have you done? And I'm like, I don't have anything to show. It's almost like you meet an artist on the street and be like, hey, give me $100 and I'll paint you something. And be like, well, what have you painted? I don't have anything to show you. And it's like, I'm glad I finally have something to show people now.
Yeah.
And that, especially for like, someone who's trying to, we've said it many a times, we have ideas, but we never took that next step. So, it's one of those deals where it's like, here, anybody listening or watching or whatever that have that like fear or whatever, it's like, hey, let's just, if you want to do it, Angel. I didn't
Yeah.
say that out loud, but it's one of those deals where it's like, sometimes someone just needs to hear someone else do it or see someone else do it to take, some kind of inspiration from to do it themselves. And, from what the trailer, what we saw in the trailer, it's only, I can only imagine it getting better and better. And the ending, you said that you can't tell anybody. I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure it'll just add to it, to the excitement of everyone.
Yeah, yeah, I love it because the slab you're going to be invested in every character. So that's what I love. I try to spend as much time on each character, and then to where you're fully invested in all of it. And yeah, like I said, to be my first film. I mean, I kind of went all out, and a lot of people were surprised. It's like normally when people do their first film, it's you don't have anybody, but it's like I got Sadie and Emily and Johanna, and then we have Felissa and Daniel, Lou. There's just so many people attached to this. To be my first, it's like I just can't thank everybody enough.
Yeah, just looking at the, I was looking at the IMDb before when the trailer was going, and I'm like, oh, that is a star-studded cast. So hearing it, it's your first time. Sometimes it's like your first time. It's like, okay, I got like 10 friends that probably never acted before, but let's just get something on a camera. So having some, veterans in here, like in the movie industry, it's it probably, you would think it might be tough, but knowing, the people you're working with, from Sadie to Felissa, who are two of the nicest people ever. I don't know Emily too well, but just doing this interview, she seems lovely.
She's very nice,
Exactly. So it's one of those deals where it's like, I think it should be a smooth sailing, especially, Daniel, we've had him on, and he was saying, how many movies did he say he was having? Like 13 movies come out or something this year, and it's just like,
just from like over the last like couple of years that have been in like post-production or whatever, or doing festivals or whatever, but they're all being released like this year. So he's got a ton of movies coming out this year. But good for him. He's a good dude. But anyways, on that note, Tony, where can people follow you?
You can find me at Tony Has Nine Fingers on YouTube. I don't do much on there anymore, but I have a whole bunch of backlog stuff where I talk movies, reviews, stuff like that. Tony Has Nine Fingers on X, which I don't use, but it's part of my spiel. Tony Has Nine Fingers on TikTok, which is my fastest growing. That's what I'm on mostly, showing off the movies, talking about movies and stuff. Closing on that 30,000 followers, almost there. So slowly, but find me there mostly. But I'm also on Instagram, Tony's Movies, where I show off the movies behind me. And of course, here on the Wicked Horror Show, most Tuesdays, whether we have awesome guests or it's just horror movie talk, or Kevin's on vacation and we take a week off.
Yeah.
Find us here. Always watch us. We always say, because if you just listen, you just heard the trailer for the Slab instead of seeing the trailer for the Slab. So watch us, come in, ask questions, and Kevin.
Yeah. Again, you can watch us on Facebook Live for the Wicked Horror Show Facebook Live, and also Wicked Horror Show on YouTube. My personal Instagram is just A-Knuckle on Instagram. And besides that, I'm just around. I'm going to be at Terrificon coming up this weekend, working with Leo, recording some panels and stuff like that. And I have all my other con plans fell through, so I'm not doing the
New York one.
Yeah, I'm not. New York is not happening, so it's going to be an easy summer for this guy. Well, easy end of the summer. Don't have to worry about moderating panels. Hooray! But even still, though, go to Sci-Fi HorrorCon up in upstate New York. It's a great show, small show, if you're in that area, go check them out. Tell Tiff and Denny that I said what's up. And thank you to everyone who is watching and those who will be listening. And thank you to our awesome guests, Sadie, Emily, and Mike. And I know Johanna was gonna come on, but she's busy. She's working at the moment on set, so it's totally acceptable. And we'd be more than happy to have her back on again as well. It's been a long time since we've seen her. But yeah, it was awesome talking to you guys, and good luck with everything. Keep us posted. And when you guys are closer to the dog barking, when you guys are closer to releasing the film, let us know, and we'll be more than happy to talk about it some more. All right.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.